Hello guys, you are highly welcome to my channel. My name is Mr. Adinuba, and in today's tutorial we're going to be building this beautiful school website using ReactJs. This is by far the best school website you can find on YouTube, and this is fully animated. This website is fully animated with smooth transition. Let's refresh and see how the animation works. As you can see, the header is well animated, and also some other part of the application or website is also animated. All right, so we're going to be learning how to do this step by step, and this project is easy and simple even if you are just a beginner. I'll be explaining every step of this project for you guys. All right, and look at the category section. As you can see, when we hover over it, when our cursor is over it, it will stop scrolling. All right, and this is our bat section, and look at it with smooth transition. Take a look. Whenever we scroll to any section, the tab that corresponds to it will get activated automatically. All right, we'll be learning how to do all of that, and all of this smooth transition effect. We're going to be learning how to create all of that. So this is our course section, and as you can see, it looks fine, and it's all auto scroll by itself. We can also scroll it manually by grabbing it and dragging it either to the left or to the right. And we're going to be learning how to do all of this. Guys, if you're not subscribed to my channel and you're watching right now, why not click on that subscribe button? Say thank you to me by subscribing to this channel. Don't just watch and go without subscribing. Click on that subscribe button and also like the video. Now this is our why choosers section, and we'll be learning how to do all of this, how to make the one on the center to be big as it is right like this, and to create all of this, we just make use of common CSS, and it's work perfectly fine. So this is our client section, and this guy has cool transition effect. Let's hover over it. As you can see, you see how it is going very smoothly, and it's auto scroll also, and we can also manually scroll it by grabbing to the left or to the right depending on where we want to scroll to. All right, so we're going to be learning how to do all of that. And also this is our pricing section. So we're learning how to create this pricing section, how to create it, how to make it uh, transition smoothly as it is transitioning like this. All right, we'll be learning how to do all of this in this project, and this is pretty simple, very simple. You don't need to be a pro to understand how to do all of this. I am going to be taking this step by step. All right, so this is our contact section, and as you can see here, we have our social handles, and this is our footer section. Our footer section, guys, if you are not subscribed to my channel, you are missing a lot. If you want to be a master in terms of UI development, uh, make sure you subscribe to this channel, because here I teach how to create a, what's it called, the best UI, the modern UI. All right, so subscribe to the channel. Subscribe to the channel. So as you can see, when we click on any of those tabs, it will scroll to the section that correspond to that tab, and it's use smooth scroll to scroll to that section. All right, as you can see, it's the pricing. We'll click on contact, it's scroll to the section, very smooth. All right, and we can go back to top by clicking on home, and it takes us back to the top. All right, and this is cool. This is cool, guys. So, and also this application is very responsive. It is very responsive. So let's check it. Let's switch to responsive mode by inspecting. So Let's switch responsive. And you see, guys, it is very, very responsive, and it fits perfectly fine both on mobile and tablet. But any screen size, basically it fits perfectly well to it. All right, so it is very, very responsive, guys. uh look at it, look at it. And we'll be learning how to do all of this, how to create this sidebar. All right, and it even have overlay. You see, when we click on overlay, it disappears. When we click on the cancel button, it also disappears. So we'll be learning how to do all of that. So let's refresh and see how the animation works here. Can you see that? All right. So we'll be learning how to do all of this. Guys, if you have not subscribed to the channel, this is the right time to subscribe. Click on that subscribe button. Say thank you to me for doing this by subscribing to the channel. Don't just watch and go away without subscribing. Let's get the channel to 1,000 subscribers before the end of the week. And without wasting much time, let's get started. We start by creating a root folder for our project. So I'll create a new project folder here, and let's click on open to open it here, and let's open a new terminal. Here is a link to the boilerplate we're going to be using for this project in order to save time. I've placed this link on the description section, so just copy it and paste it in a browser. So this is our boilerplate, and let's click on code. We can either download the zip file or copy this link here and use git clone to clone it. That is, if you have git installed in your computer. So this is cloning right now. As you can see, it has cloned successfully, and it is every file is in this folder. Let's move all the file into our root folder, which is Cospo. So let's move it, and as you can see, that clone folder is now empty. Let's just delete it because we don't need it anymore. All right, so we're now going to take a tour of these files, all these folders we have here. Let's see what we have. As you can see, on the public folder, we just have Vite logo, and here we have in the SRC, we have our asset folder, which basically contain all the images we're going to be making use of. Here also we have index.js. So here we exported all the images in this file so that it will be easy to import in any component. So app.js, here we just outputted hello world. If you take a look at main.js, you see we have imported app.js here, and we render it in the root. Next file is in data.js. So here we have structured all the data we're going to be making use of. For example, for the menu, for the categories, for the about. So we have structured all this data so that we will save our time. We will not be wasting time trying to structure it, and the video will now be too long. All right. So we have data for services. We also have data for white users section. Also for the testimonial section, we have data for them already. Social handles, and also the footer section, we do have data for all of them. This will save our time. And next is the index.css. Here we have just the CSS variables we're going to be making use of throughout this application. All right, these are just CSS variables. Now, as you can see here, we have imported our CSS file. Next, the index.html, we made only changes here. That is by adding a background to the HTML tag. This will make you to use that background when refreshing, and also we made changes to the title, so you can use any title you wish. All right, so in our package.json, we have the list of dependencies that this application is required to use. So we need to use npm install to install all these dependencies. So let's just write npm install and click enter. And as you can see, it has been installed successfully, all the dependencies. Now let's run the application by using npm run dev. So now let's copy this link and paste it on our browser. And as you can see, we just have hello world here. All right. So before we start doing any other thing, let's go to index.css. So we are going to write our general styles within here. All right. Let's go and grab a font link. So let's just go fonts.google.com. And when this opens up, let's search for Sora. And here is it. Let's click on it. Let's click on remove font and let's click on get font. Let's click on get embed code and let's switch to add imports. Please make sure this is on web and let's copy this code here. So we're going to paste it at the top here and let's remove the style tag because this is CSS file and HTML tag is not allowed. All right. So this is our font link. And now let's start writing our general styling. So this is universal selector and whatever we write within here will affect every element on our HTML page. So we're saying that every element should have a margin of 0, padding of 0, border of none, outline of none. All right. And next, let's scroll bar width. Let's change it to 10. Then scroll bar width, color. Let's see color primary and transparent. Next, let's select HTML and the body. And let's say the minimum height should be 100 viewport height. That's whatever the height of the browser screen should be the height of the HTML tag and the body. Scroll bar behavior smooth over scroll behavior contain background color UI primary. And so we have created this variable here and we're making use of it. So now body overflow hidden overflow Y auto margin should be 2000 pixels and margin up to so that it will be at the center always. Now our anchor tag text decoration node color and display, let's say inline block. Our H1 up to H6 font weight should be 500. Paragraph also and line height 21 pixel. Now our image, what one represent minimum height of our image should be 100% so that our image will always occupy the height of its parent container. Simple. So all these types we are writing right now, we are going to be making use of all this in the component we're going to be creating in this project. So the reason why we are creating all of this class is so that we can make use of it in a different component we are going to be creating without repeating code. You know, this will save us from writing a lot of code. Okay, now color primary, color, let's use color primary variable here. Text gradient, so any text that we want it to have a gradient color. So we are going to be making use of this text gradient class. Text, WebKit text field, color, transparent, background clip again. Let's write it here. Text. Now our profile, let's give it a width, 2 rem, a height of 2 rem. So we want to create a perfect square. So let's just make both the minimum and maximum height and width to be the same so that no matter what, it will not going to be shrinking. It will always maintain the same height and width. And we make it a radius. Uh, Give it a radius of 100%. So when it's being hovered, we give it a factor of 0.5. Our icon container, give it a width of 2.5 rand, a height of 2.5 rand. Display it flex. We want to make sure that our icon is on the center of the icon container. So that's why we're displaying it flex, and align the item to center and justify the content to center. Now let's transition it. We want it to be very smooth, and the color of the icon should be color text. Next, when it's being hovered on, we are going to transform it to 1.2 scale. For our BTN, that is for our button, uh, uh, font weight 500, and also let's give it a font size of 14 pixel, cursor of pointer, color, let's create color text, and a background. Guys, if you have not subscribed to the channel, why not do so right now? Click on that subscribe button. Don't just watch the tutorial without subscribing. You can also support me by subscribing. Subscribe to the channel to encourage me to drop more content. Just click on that subscribe button, and also remember to like this video. Give it a thumbs up, guys. And also, if you have any concern or questions, write it on the comment section. Drop your concerns and questions on the comment section. All right. So let's continue. Keep on going. Now, when our title now, we'll give it a font size of 55 pixel and font weight of 800, and margin of 20 pixel top and bottom, and 0 pixel left and right. Our primary effect, so, and also our blur effect. Now let's position both to be relative, and let's select primary effect, and let's add before pseudo class to it, and also our blur effect, let's add a before pseudo class. Now let's say content nothing and position them at absolute. Now we can now select the first one, and let's style it individually. Bottom left, and the width 100%, our height 50%, and mini gradient, and it's a bottom transparent. Then let's use color primary here, 75%. Next, let's style the blur effect. So width, let's say 322 pixel, and height 308 pixel. Background, let's use gradient 2 as our background. Then border radius 50%. WebKit filter 150 pixel, and filter 150 pixel. Just do the same thing you see me doing here on the screen, and we are going to arrive at the same result. So we're going to be making this code responsive. So we are going to say min width, if it is 1500 pixel, then the container that has a class of few height should also have a minimum height of auto. Okay, so which means if the width of the screen is above anything 1500 upward, the minimum height should be auto. And you will see the reason why we did this when we start creating our components. So this is it. This is our general stylings. We are done with this. And as you can see, it doesn't look like anything has been done. So let's go back and let's close this file. And now let's open our app.js and let's start creating our component. Let's create component folder. Now let's create the first component called navbar. Now we're going to create the index.js and the navbar.css. Now let's go to index.js and let's create our navbar component and let's import navbar.css into those components. And let's just write navbar here and let's go back to app.js and import our navbar from the component folder. And now let's remove this and add our navbar. As you can see, it has been added. Now let's create another component called hero. And let's create the index.js file. And let's create the hero.css. Now let's create hero component in our index.js file. And let's import our hero.css. Now let's write hero here and let's import it in our app.js. And let's add it right after navbar. Now let's create another component called categories. All right. As usual, let's create the index.js and the categories.css. Now we create our component and we import categories.css into our component. Then we go to app.js and import our categories and we add it right after hero. And as you can see, the sequence. All right, now let's go ahead and create another component again called about us. Right, we create the index.js file for this component and also the CSS file. Now we generate about us here and we import about us.css. And we go ahead to app.js and we import about us and we add it right after categories. And this is how we continue. Let's go again and create another component. So this is called courses. All right. And we create the index.js file and courses.css file. Then we create the component and we import our courses.css. Then we go back to app.js, we import our courses from our component folder and we add it right after about us. And next, let's create another component called why choosers. Why choosers.css and let's create why choosers component and let's import why choosers.css. And let's import it right in our app.js and we add it right after courses. Next, we create another component again. And this time we're going to call the component testimonies or testimonial. Let's create the index.js file and testimonial.css. Then we import the testimonial.css here and we go back to app.js and import our testimonial and we add it right after why choose us. Next, let's go and create another component again. Well, we are going to call this pricing. And let's create the index.js and pricing.css. Then we create the component and we import the pricing.css file. And let's import pricing in app.js and we add it right after testimonial. Next, we are going to create another component called contact. And let's create the index.js file and contact.css. And let's create our contact component and import the content.css file. And let's go back to app.js and we import our contact over here and we add it right after pricing. Next component we're going to be creating is called footer, and we create our index.js for footer and footer.css. Then we go to our index.js and we create our component and import the CSS file, and we come back in our app.js and import the footer and we add it right after contact. Now look at it. We are going to be taking them one after the other. So the first one we're going to start with is nav bar. So here, let's start creating a nav bar. Let's change this to nav and let's give it a class name. Let's call it nav bar and let's remove this. Let's create two columns. Now on the first column, we're going to create something, but let's just give it a second class name called hamburger. And here, let's create menu group and we're going to be looping through our menus. Let's import the menus here. We have it already in our data.js. So let's import the menus. So look at it here. We have home, categories, about us. So we are going to be looping through it here. Let's say menus dot map. Sorry, here. So menus dot map, menu, and let's say index, and let's return. We're going to be returning a link. So this is imported from React Scroll. As you can see, React Scroll is one of the dependencies we installed. So let's make use of it, link, and we add put the name of the menu, and we give it a key of index so that React will be able to differentiate them. And here too, we are going to say menu.route ID so that on click of this link, it will scroll to the section that has the ID we specify. So we also specify spy true so that when the user is scrolling, this tab or this menu will get activated automatically. Now on the second column, we use this link. We say get started. We're going to say to and write contact so that it will take the user to the contact section when the user clicks on this. All right. So this tool actually takes an ID of a section as a value. Now let's import this arrow icon from React icon. So if you want to search more about icons, you want to know more about React icons, you can search for it on Google and you can search React icon on Google and see more about it. We are going to now style our navbar. We display flash, align the items to center, stretch it. We justify the content to space between, give it a padding of 10 pixel, 20 pixel, and position sticky dot zero, z index 200 pixel. Now background should be color UI secondary, and our nav var column, display the column to flex, align the items to the center, and we give it a gap of 20 pixel. So do exactly what you see here on the screen. We would definitely arrive the same outcome. These two are almost the same. So let's just copy this and paste it here and delete this one since they are sharing the same code. All right, so let's style our item. color muted, and let's transition it. Next, cursor pointer. Now let's create a hover effect. So when it's being hovered, we'll change the color to color text, and uh, let's take a look at how it looks like. Let's refresh, and this is how it looks like. Now we are going to style this get started button, which is by the right side. Let's write some code for it. We gave it a class of contact btn. So first, let's change the color to color primary, and let's change the box shadow. Let's give it a box shadow that has color primary, and let's display it as flex. Align the items to center and give it a gap of 10 pixels. Now on hover, let's change the background to color primary, and also let's give it a color of color white, and this is it. So nice. All right, so we're going to go ahead right now and create a new component called logo. So we're creating it separately because we're going to be using logo in more than one place. All right, so let's create the component and import logo.css into this component, and let's give it a class name of logo container. And here we're going to be using this icon as our logo. So as you can see, the icon has been imported automatically from React icons. Now let's H1, then let's say course, and let's wrap this within a span and give it a class name of color primary. All right, so Cospo, and let's write some CSS code here. First of all, we'll select our logo container. We display it flex, align the items to center, and give it a gap of 10 pixels. Now let's tie the icon. Give it a font size of 2 rem and color of color primary. Now let's style our name. All right, font size 1.5 rem, and I think that is cool. Let's import it into our navbar, and let's use it right before the first colon. And this is how it looks, guys. Isn't this good? As you can see, it looks so awesome, looks so good. Now let's go ahead and create the responsive code for this. First of all, let's create a state called open, and we have set open so that we can be able to switch the value of our open state. All right, so here we're going to add this code. So we're going to say if it is open, and we'll add a class that is called visible to this. But if open is not true, there's no, we're not going to be adding any class to this. All right, so here we create icon container. Let's call it cancel btn, and we're going to use F8 times here. As you can see, it has been imported automatically from React icons. All right, um, here let's give it on click. On click, we set open to not open, which means if open is true, it will be false on click. And if it is false, it will become true on click. Also, we are going to add the same on click to our links, that is our tabs. All right. Now here we're going to create a menu btn. We're going to use this ri menu tree field. As you can see, it has been imported automatically also here. Also remember to import it if it is not imported automatically. All right. So let's write some code here. We'll select our cancel btn and select our menu btn here. So we are going to display them none because we don't want to show the cancel button and the menu button on our desktop. We only want to show it on tablet and on mobile. phones. All right. So here we're displaying it none. All right. So next, okay, menu BTN, give it a font size of 25 pixel. We want it to be kind of large so that it will be more visible. And let's write our media query. So we're going to target screen 900 pixel. So here we're going to first of all select a hamburger. That is all those tab items. We are going to, all menu items, we're going to convert them to become a sidebar. So the one that has a hamburger class name will convert it to a sidebar. This code I'm writing right now, we convert it to become a sidebar. All right. So let's say display block. Before now it was displayed as flex, but we're displaying it block right now. Give it a transition or transition so that when it's coming out, it will come out with smooth transition, right? So give it a Z index of 210. So the Z index of this must be above the Z index of navbar, all right? So when it's visible, we give it a left of 0. The offset from the left side will be 0 when a visible class is present, all right? Let's give it a gap of 0 pixel, a parent top of 50 pixel. Let's select it and go into the item of displayed block. We'll give it a width of 100%. We'll give it a padding of 10 pixel top and bottom and 20 pixel left and right. Text align should be left. Now let's show our cancel BTN and menu BTN. So let's display flex. By now it will show. All right. So let's take a look at it and let's inspect. So when we click on our menu button, it's supposed to appear. Something is wrong. Let's just check and see if everything is correct. Everything is all right. This is supposed to work. Let's check. Let's check. Visible. Let's check our CSS code. Hamburger. The visible. Everything seems to be in place. To be perfect. Visible here. We have hamburger here. Is that? I didn't make a guess I just change it. Let's see. Okay. What could be the problem? Okay, let's come over here. Okay. Let's switch. I think the problem is just that I did not refresh it. Did not refresh the browser. That is just a problem here. So let's hide this contact button when the screen is no longer enough to contain it, so that it will not be squeezing the way it is squeezing right now. So let's change this to 500. So when the screen is 500 downward, the contact BTN should be hidden. You can see it's hidden right now, and when there's enough space for it to stay, it will appear. Now let's add an overlay to this. So if open is true, we're going to add a div with a sidebar overlay class, and let's add those so that when we click on the overlay, the sidebar can be hidden back. All right, so let's just write our code here. We're going to position it to be fixed, and we give it a background, a dark background with transparent effect. That's why we're using RGB here. We'll give it a Z index. The Z index must be lower than our sidebar so that the overlay can stay under our sidebar. All right, so this is it. So as you can see, it's working perfectly fine. So we are done with this, and let's go to the next component, which is hero. So let's give it an ID of hero, and let's say container here dot full height. So we want our hero to have a full height of the browser screen. So here our title, study together, and let's say span dot text gradient for anywhere. Let's add description text method, and when we write lorem, VS Code will generate a lorem ipsum text for us. And let's create buttons container or buttons group, and let's import link from our React scroll. So we're going to be using this link to create our button. So first of all, we'll create explore more, and we're going to give it to focus base, and let's give it a class btn primary, and here let's change this to contact get started contact, and here let's see media group. Here we're going to add an image, our hero image. So is within the asset folder. This is it here, and we have exported it here in our index.js. So let's import it from asset. All right, and we can now copy it, and we are going to place it here. And next, let's create our renting container, and here we create h1 excellent stars container. So we are going to be adding our stars within the icon container, this icon container. So this is the name of the icon we're going to be using, IOND star. You see it has been imported automatically for us, and we just add 5 of them here. And let's write based on 1000 plus reviews, first pilot. So let's write some CSS code for this. We are going to select hero, and let's give it a background of blue 1, and hero container to display the grid. Let's give it a grid template column. The first should be auto, and the second should be 400 pixel. Margin top, and let's select the title, then the text gradient. Let's display the lock. So container, then the media group. Background should be blue 1. Transition should be transition. So just do the same thing which we're doing here. This one is pretty simple. It's just very simple, and we always arrive at the same result as far as we are doing the same thing with me here. Position absolute width 100%, bottom 0, left 0, padding should be 20 pixel, Order radius should be radius gray. Align item center. Left direction should be column. Gradient 2. Let's copy this and paste. Tag container. Split flex. Align item center. Gap 10 pixel. Our icon container now. Background. Border radius. Let's use radius 2. And buttons container or group. Split flex. Align the item to center and give it a gap of 20 pixel. Margin top and bottom 20 pixel, left and right 0. And this is how this looks like right now. This is how it looks like. So, but it's not responsive. So let's make it responsive. Max width 900 pixel. So anything 900 pixel below this media query, the code within the media query will execute. So let's select our group.info. Everything that is within, with a test align it to center. Botany group, justify center. So this is how it looks right now, but it seems okay, yeah, let's add info here. And buttons are not at the center. What could be the problem? Oh, hero. So this is where the error comes from. So you see the button is now at the center. Everything is well centered on mobile. And this looks cool, guys. It looks very cool and it's very responsive. So let's go ahead and create another component called font facts. So we're going to create the index page, the index file, and the CSS file. So we'll go back to the index file, we'll create a component and import our font facts.css. All right, so let's go back to our hero. Here we import the font facts. Font facts, and let's add it right after our buttons group. So this is it here. Now let's start writing our font fact code. Let's write a code here. So let's create a fact item and let's create an icon container. And let's go ahead again. Let's create count container. So within our count container, we need a title. Let's just add plus. So now let's import what is called odometer. Let's import it from React odometer.js. This is one of the dependencies we have already installed. All right, so here we're going to be passing two props to it. Number one, we pass value, and number two, we pass the class name, which is title. All right, so let's add text method here, and here we're going to just add the name, but let's duplicate it to let's duplicate it. So now we can make changes to each of them one after the other. So we first of all create our instructor state, and we're going to set it to 0. That will be the initial value. And now let's add the instructor here, instructors. Here, let's add an icon for our instructor. All right, as you can see, the icon has been imported automatically. And let's write here certified professionals, professional instructor. All right, and here let's add a style because we want this to have unique background colors. So we're using color success as the background color of the first fat font fat icon. All right, so students, say students, we are going to give it initial value of 0, and let's add it here, students, and let's add an icon for our student here, and let's change the background color. This one should be red, or let's use blue. Let's change, let's try the, yes, so students around the world, students around the world. Next is these courses, state courses, and you state courses here. And let's also add a background to this. Here we use red, and let's add an icon here. Okay, let's just use this one here over here, and let's go and add a new icon to the second one. All right, so all these icons are imported automatically. Remember to import the icons if yours is not importing automatically. So let's take a look at this. You see how it looks like. So this is this title is not correct. So let's change it and let's see it again. So this is how it currently looks like. And let's change this to K. All right. Now let's create use effect. So we're going to be using this use effect to change the value of our state. This the value of instructor, the value of student, and the value of course. And let's specify a millisecond of 3000. So here we set instructors to 155, student 2500, courses 7000. And let's return. We are going to clear timeout interval. Timeouts. Now let's search for React odometer. So here is it. So we are going to go to the official site to get a theme. So look at the different themes of React odometer here. Just follow the link. Just we're going to make use of this default theme. So there are the CSS code for the default theme. So we just copy it and paste. And let's delete all this CSS code that we don't want, that is causing an error. And let's add also this transform, translate Z. All right, so we can now start writing our custom code. As you can see, this is how it is. And when I refresh, you see it's counting. So without the CSS code, it won't function this way. All right. you need to go to that site and get a theme that you want, and then come back to your CSS file and paste the CSS for that theme. All right. So we're just so the blur effect, let's position it very well. Before, left and top, height from 20 pixel, fat icon, where it flex, left direction column, gap 5 pixel, background, border radius. Guys, if you have not subscribed to the channel, please do so now. Subscribe to my channel. If I'm truly giving you value, why not subscribe to the channel for more value? All right. The best way you can say thank you to me is by subscribing to the channel and also liking this video, liking the tutorial. Give it a thumbs up, guys. And as you do that, God bless. All right, transform, scale it, and front parts, give it a gap of 10 pixels. Now our title, we need to give it a font size, let's say 40 pixel, and font width 900, margin 0, text method, font size 12 pixel, text align center. So we're making it responsive right now. So when the screen is less than, is from 1100 downward, this code we're writing, the code we wrote within the first media query will execute. And the second media query, if the screen is from 500 downward, it will execute. Font fat and child 3. So the third one, the third font fat, that's what we just selected right now. So we're making sure that the third font fat is 100% width. So it occupies 2 columns. Now let's take a look at it. Let's switch to mobile mode, and let's keep on moving the screen down until it gets to 500. This is not looking good at all. It means there's a problem somewhere. So let's go. We're gonna go and correct it right now. Let's correct it. So where could the problem be from? Oh, this is supposed to be within repeats. All right. So as you can see, this is how it looks like currently. And this is awesome, guys. This looks so nice and so cool. So you can see it looks so cool. We will come back to this and animate it later on. So let's just close it and go to the next category, which is we're going to give it an ID of category and container, give it a title as gradient, and write categories. So from this point, I will not be talking again since the remaining part of this tutorial is very simple to understand. It's very, very simple to understand. So I will not be talking from this moment. Guys, enjoy the video and thank you. And make sure you complete building the project. Also, subscribe to the channel and give the video a thumbs up. God bless.